Why it's not
Peace.
full screen? It never be, right?
I don't know.
That's cool.
Hey,
Hello,
everybody.
hello.
Peace, peace,
What's up, guys?
peace. We're late again. Not always on time.
Yes. Today we're podcast. What number is this?
Episode
Episode
7.
7. And this podcast is finding your purpose. Um, yeah,
You should kick it off because you've been in
yeah.
your purpose.
We're just gonna help you guys just joggle your mind to help you find your purpose today. Um, Starting with me, man, it just came just by dealing with so many people, uh, being real transparent as a barber, and people come to me all the time, asking me, a lot of questions, and I think me helping people gave me what my purpose was going to be, and that's to help people navigate through life, right? And they would ask me, how did you do this, how did you do that? And I would, over the years, it didn't take long, but it just came naturally for me to just start helping people find what they really love to do. Like, I think finding your purpose is being able to do something without getting paid for it, right? I think like that's passion and purpose, right?
Well, you want to get paid for it.
No, but your purpose is, you don't get paid for your purpose. It comes naturally. You don't
Right.
look to get paid for it,
Right.
but it just automatically happens because you're doing a good deed for the universe, for the galaxy, for the people, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so
But
it's not, you don't intentionally think about getting paid for your purpose. Your purpose is like a good deed. Like, it's like you're giving back.
well, I think in your case, right, you are able to work and then bring forth your purpose through what you do for a living. And not everybody is afforded that. So you are getting paid for.
Right. I mean, my situation is different, but I'm still giving, like, game free game,
Okay.
because of empathy, right?
But here's the question for you.
Right. Okay.
When when did you start, like, I know you said it started early on giving advice, but can you remember like a shift or something happening where let's say people started coming to you and saying you had an impact on my life or something like that? Was that always throughout your career, or can you think of like a point where something shifted?
Right. Yeah. I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, when people would come to me for advice, and I would just naturally give it to them. I think finding your purpose is, you'll find it around the people that you hang with, right? And your day-to-day conversations. Um, when you're a giver and you just naturally want to help people, I think that's how you find your purpose. So it's like, whatever mindset you have, you're gonna attract that same type of mindset, and from there, it's so many different uh, genres that you can tap into to find your purpose. But you have to be passionate about whatever it is, for one.
So, yeah, like you hear all the time where people say, find something that you're really good at or that you love to do, that and that would be kind of like how you can live out your purpose. Because, like, we all, in my opinion, we all come in with a mission or something that we're supposed to do. Like, we're supposed to work through all these obstacles to get to this purpose, where it's usually challenging because it usually has something to do with like your biggest fear, overcoming a fear or something like that. Like if it's public speaking and you're like really shy,
Mhm.
and being seen and stuff like that. I'm talking about myself here. um Being seen, like I came from being really afraid of being seen and always like sheltering myself and keeping myself out of the spotlight, to then being here doing something like this where it's usually challenging to come out of your shell, or um to step into this thing that you came to do, because it's usually there's usually some healing involved. You can't really step into it before healing and figuring things out. It's a journey. Like
Mhm.
you talk about, I was listening to you tell your story about how um, the book came about, and how like you had clients come and you couldn't help them,
Right.
and then that like really triggered something within you
Mhm.
to want to help people.
Right.
So that's why I was just asking.
Right.
Do,
So it comes naturally. So that's my answer to finding your purpose. It'll come naturally. I mean, you first of all, you have to put yourself out there. You can't find your purpose and be. I don't think you can find your purpose by being dormant, right?
being
And saying
seclusion.
seclusion. So, and normally people that are in seclusion, they're not trying to find their purpose because life is too much for certain people. This world we live in, people can't. It's not for the faint of heart right now. You know what I mean? So, like, you have to really have really like strong passion about something to find your purpose. Yeah. So that's what my answer is. You gotta when you find your passion, and I think your purpose will come.
Yeah, if you really love doing
If
something,
you really
nothing's
love
gonna
doing something
stop you,
right,
right?
absolutely nothing is gonna stop you. But through passion, you find your purpose. Because when you're doing something that you're passionate about, you're attracting a lot of people. Because if you're passionate about it, you're you're gonna either you're making money off of it, or you're attracting a certain type of people that love what your passion is, and people pay you for your passion. But then from there, you build relationships, and from building relationships, you acquired something through your passion, and people are intrigued with your passion. And how did you know that you want to do this? How did it? But then from there, when you building relationships with people, and now they're being open to you, and they're telling you their whole life stories, and and I think finding your passion and your purpose is the things that you overcame in life, right? And the things that you healed from, the things that you didn't, that you fought to get out of, things that was holding you down. And then you get all these other people that are in those situations that you came from, and that you healed from, and you just naturally have answers to help them navigate. And that's how it became my purpose, is by helping people go through things that I already conquered.
Right.
And I just gave them my blueprint. Or after a while, like, life becomes a feeling process, right? It's the same energy, but a different face. And those people are going through things that I've been through, right? And so I just give them the blueprint of what I use to keep coming back every time I got knocked down, right?
Mm.
And guess what? It's been working for years. So I just had empathy for people, and I had the answers for a lot of things. A lot of times, well, it was like an aha moment for me when I would just be talking about my life to people, or a situation that they're in, and I would be like, well, why don't you do this, or why don't you do that? And they would be like, well, I never thought about that. So my purpose, it gradually just dawned on me. I was like, wow, am I really good at this or what? And then, and that comes from me giving everybody else too much credit and not giving myself enough credit. And then, but once the people that I helped started giving me confirmation that something that I told them really helped them and they like love me forever, that was my fuel. That fueled my purpose, you know? And I was like, I was addicted to it because I'm like, wow. And it's like they would ask me, damn, what book did you read? Where did you get that quote from? Or what I don't read like that. And that's my quote. I mean, it's like a natural organic thing, right? And that just kept giving me confirmation that I'm doing the right thing. And it fueled me to like want to help people more and more. So I think when you sign up for that, like with the universe and asking God, so wow, this is good. I'm ready for this. This is what I want to do. It just opened the floodgates for me just helping people for a long time. And I have a lot of people that can attest to that. And it feels good. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. What I think, like I said, find your passion first. You're gonna attract like-minded people, and you're gonna get them in your realm. Because in order to be successful, man, you have to go through so many hurdles that life throws at you, and to have the longevity that a lot of people have. Like I said, I've been cutting hair for 39 years. I had the barbershop for 29 years, and there were so many hurdles that I made it through. And that just builds a lifelong of experience that I have to share with people because when people are going through things, man, and they telling me and they're stuck, and it's like simple to me, but it's rocket science to them, right? And I just naturally flow with it, and they're like, "Oh my God, that I needed to hear that." Man, that feels so good. And I tell them, don't thank me, thank God, man, because I was super messed up and I fought my way through and I made it. And I'm able to give people what I didn't have. Like, right? I say that I am who I needed when I was younger. And it's not, I feel like it's not, I won't get my blessings or it's not conducive to me or I'm not building relationships if I can't hold all this information in without sharing it. Right. And it's weird because somebody would sit in a chair and they would just give me, they'll ask me, how was your week? I'll tell them, give them my answer. I ask them theirs. 9 times out of 10 is something that's troubling somebody, right? And when they tell me what they're going through, I just naturally just take over to help them navigate through that situation. Like it's one guy now that he has a big heart and he loved his brother is older than him. And he was, I asked him the other day, I was like, so what's going on with you? He was like, man, he said, man, I love my brother so much, but it's like he don't care nothing about me until he needs something. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, he comes to me, he doesn't talk to me, he doesn't respond to my text, he doesn't do this, he doesn't, but when he needs something, he knows I'm gonna look out for him. And I'll give him whatever he needs. And then when I want to call him to see if he's okay, he doesn't return my text. He doesn't. I said, wow, I said, sometimes you got to fall back, man, and, take your power back because it seemed like he's draining you. You know what I mean? But he can't help it. His brother knows that he's a nice guy. And it's hard to like tell somebody that you got to cut certain people off unless they're going to drain you, man. You have your own family to take care of, right? And he's like, but I can't do that. That's my brother. I was like, well, you'll figure it out. You know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, and I'm trying to give him clues and not to be so harsh, but in a situation like that, you can't really go too hard for somebody who is still stuck on a situation that they have no control over. And you just have to wait until they open up and keep asking you questions. And then if it's something that's bothering him, he comes probably twice a month to get a haircut. And if it's something that they really want, they'll ask me more questions, and I'll get a little more deep with them, because you can't go too strong with it with certain people, because they're not ready to handle all of that, right? So my purpose for this situation is to be an ear for him when he needs it, and just gradually give him a little bit at a time. Because I want to dive in and give it to him hard, but he's not ready for that, you know? Because I caught myself. I was giving it to him what he strategically needs to do. And he was like, "Really?" He said, That's not me though. That's not me." And that's what made me fall back, because he's really not ready for it. You got to get tired of situations in your life before you get enough of it. And you be like, you know what? Now you got to set some boundaries, right?
Yeah. That's what I was I was having a conversation with someone who was going through something similar, where it's like they're having a hard time with setting boundaries because they feel like they're being mean, or they feel like they're not being nice or empathetic or whatever. And I'm like, no, or being setting boundaries or that tough love is still love. It's just what that person needs. Like, they need that boundary. You need to set the boundary, and that's what they need to come into their own power, to figure things out on themselves. So you stop enabling certain people, and then they're able to come into their own and figure things out on their own. But if you just continue enabling them and letting them treat you bad at that,
Mm-hmm.
then what are you saying about yourself? You're
Right.
not worthy of basic common respect and courtesy. Like, if they're completely ignoring you and only coming around when they need something,
Right.
then that's a one-sided relationship. That's
Mm-hmm.
not, relationships are supposed to be give and take. One hand washes the other.
Right.
If you're just completely being drained, and you have to do something about that, or else you're just gonna,
Make them the enablers.
yeah. And then
That's just you're to blame for that, because you kept enabling them not to make it happen for themselves.
yeah, we've been kind of brainwashed into thinking like we're supposed to be nice and
Everything for
giving,
everybody
right?
else.
Especially like as parents, or as women, or as like there's these, it's like traps, right? You're supposed to be empathetic. Like, that's your brother. You're supposed to be a certain way. That's your child. You're supposed to be a certain way. That's your parent. You're supposed to be a certain way. But a lot of these relationships um, are draining. They're one-sided. They're like, you have to set these boundaries and stop allowing yourself to be drained and to be used,
Mm-hmm.
is what it seems like. And what it, you know, I can't say because I don't know the people and the situations, but yeah, if a person is completely ignoring you, and then they need something, and then they're expecting you to drop everything because they need
Because
something.
you've been doing
You've
that
done
for a
it in the
long time.
past, right? And they've
Right.
gotten used to it. But that
And that's not living in your purpose.
well, I think you were saying, like, there's those sayings like your mess is your message, things
Yeah.
like that, like the things that you were able to overcome, and you could help other people um overcome similar situations.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get caught in this purpose thing because they're expecting some grand purpose and some big thing, that there's a mission that they're supposed to be doing. But
Right.
a lot of times it could be just being a good listener, or being a parent, supporting someone, a family member, um, uh, someone that's like disabled and needing of support and love. Like, it's not always this big thing that you're like saving the world, and they
Right.
get caught in this, I'm waiting for my purpose, or what's my purpose,
But go ahead.
instead of enjoying where you are in life, what you're doing.
But some people, that's the thing I was gonna say. A lot of people aren't enjoying their life and they're not happy with where they are. So to find your purpose, there's steps to get into your purpose. Like you have to like really heal. You have to do a self cleansing. You have to master yourself first. Like you can't live in your purpose if you didn't master yourself.
Right.
So before we get to the purpose, like we skipped all of that.
Right.
So you have to go through a bunch of steps before you get to it. Just don't happen like that.
Right.
But you have to master self mastery. That this podcast could have been self mastery as well. But you have to really master yourself so you can become your ultimate self in order to find your purpose.
Right.
That's when it's an aha moment when you made it through, I mean, everything. And here you are still fighting and still have a good heart with good intentions and just want to give to people. Because, I can't speak for everybody else, but my life has been so transparent. And here I am, 53, still making things happen. And people can't unforget all the things that they saw me, all the hurdles that I came through, right? And man, and like them giving me my flowers and letting me know who I am, it's like, that's just confirmation to me for me to keep doing what I'm doing. And it's not even, I don't need the confirmation, but it's just because I'm naturally like that. But that's the universe giving me confirmation to make me just go harder with it, because now I'm all the way here in Texas and it's the same thing. It's the same energies, the same purpose. It's like, it's wherever you go. It's like the universe put that on me to help people navigate. And I feel that because, I tear up sometimes to be like, damn, I'm all the way down here and it's just like they just coming. It's the same thing like it was in CT. Man, so like I've been through this before I came down here, and it's just amazing. It feels great to be working my passion and living my purpose at the same time. I'm trying to think of other jobs or other things that genres that people are in that I was thinking about, like, people who work in like homeless shelters or people who are like doctors, nurses, yeah, stuff like that. It's like
Therapists.
therapists, you know what I mean? It's like they're in the giving, they're helping people, right?
But
And so
there's go ahead. Okay.
no, go ahead. You go.
So there's other ways of healing too, like art, music. Like music
Right.
has helped us both tremendously.
Right.
There's all kinds of different.
Right. And once you get people in, like they have we don't drink like that, but the sipping, the drugs, paint and sip thing. Like I remember we went to one maybe, but I went to a few years ago, and in like some paint and sip classes, the instructor is like giving you like purpose and quotes to help you, not just sip and paint. It's they got this certain type of music playing, or they might have a speaker like giving you motivational talks and stuff like that, man. So it's like it's a bunch of ways where you can find your purpose that help people heal, because that's painting is therapy.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And but if you add the right music or just the right environment with that, you can help people navigate and heal and inspire. I mean, it's just so many ways, man.
Comedians.
Yeah.
Anything that like lifts up the soul, right?
Right. I mean, like you do the Reiki, right?
I thought you was.
You
I thought you was about to like my regular job.
Oh no,
Uh,
no, no.
yeah. So, but again, like going back to your purpose kind of being like something that a hurdle you have to overcome to get to, right?
Right.
For me, um, like the Reiki is kind of like my outward thing. It's like, oh, I do Reiki, I do energy healing, but it's a lot more than that. And just like, I don't talk about certain things. Like, a lot of people that know me don't know me because I keep most of my stuff to myself, right? So, like, there's family members that don't even know about like my what I do as far as the healing services, the energy healing, and then the other side of it, which is more like intuitive and psychic and stuff like that. I don't even talk about that stuff.
Hmm.
Like I've told like close friends, like, oh, I can I can I don't even want to go too deep, but like I can kind of hear people's thoughts and hear certain things and I know certain things and like that freaks people out. They wouldn't want to be
Around you.
right. Like what?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen all the time. Okay?
Yes, it do. But there's a big demographic of people that want that, and I see it happening with you. So I mean, that's your calling. So I mean, you're just living. That's your purpose. You're living out your purpose, right?
Right, but again, if I would have stayed um, fearful, fear of being judged, fear of what people think, fear of if I would have stayed there in that small place, then I would have never come into this. And
Mm.
I think like you get it in little trickles, like that like it started off as just empathy and being sensitive and being able to feel things. But like people know, like I used to always say, like I know.
But you kept getting signs to force you to do what you're doing. Like you was fighting it for a long time,
Mhm.
but it just kept you just kept getting confirmation like this is what I'm gonna supposed to be doing, and I'm like, do that shit. You know what I mean?
I
And you
started
went,
getting smacked around a little bit.
huh?
I said I started getting smacked around a little bit.
Smacked around with what?
Um, like
The with the confirmations. You mean?
yeah, like because I wasn't doing it,
Right.
and then I started getting like
Like shooken up, like situations in life. It was like, yeah, like
that's
trying to wake you
yeah,
up.
exactly. I
Yeah,
like moved
yeah.
exactly.
Your reflexes is fast. I don't know why, but look. Look.
I didn't move. Um, yeah, I think like the illnesses and some of the stuff that I went through was that whole thing, right? The things that I healed myself from and the things that I've overcome and the amount of times that I was like near death and stuff like that. That was how I felt like I was getting smacked around. Like they're like, you know what you're supposed to be doing. Like stop it. Come on.
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah. So in order to find your purpose, it's everything starts off with having a good heart with good intentions for everyone, and making being real intentional about becoming the best possible version that you can be. But you have to heal, man. Um, I think that's why my book and we always talk about uh, healing from our traumas, man. I don't think you will ever find your purpose without healing. Or and finding your purpose, it's like it's something that you're willing to do for free. Like it's like a good deed,
Mm.
but it makes you feel good. Like I said, if you have a good heart with good intentions, you'll find your purpose, right? Even if and no matter what field you're working in, just it's the people around you that they're gonna want you to help them because they can feel that you can help them. And like I didn't know that. It just was a natural thing to me. And it just gradually dawned on me like, wow, I'm really living my purpose here. Right. But it's just it comes naturally, man. I don't think I mean I would love for somebody. I wish if somebody can let me know how did they find their purpose, right? I'm almost sure it comes with your passion first, and then your purpose will come along with that. Normally, I think successful people, um, when somebody comes up to them and asks them, "How did you do this? How did you do that?" 9 times out of 10, they'll give that person that information because that person reminds them of when they needed information to get to where they're at. So they naturally give, right? So I mean, giving information is a purpose. Because like people always said to me, like, yo, why do you give everybody all your plays? You telling people all your business, da da da. And I'm like, I used to be like that. I didn't have nobody like me growing up. So if if my purpose is like if I'm gonna if I feel like if I'm gonna be fearful of losing what I already know that's what's meant for me is not gonna miss me. I don't have that thought of like giving information. I think that's my purpose, giving information to people who want it. And I'm never gonna hold back. For one, I'm not a gatekeeper. That burp stink. Your body language, you can't even play it off. You done moved away from me because I burp. You burp and I don't do all that. Look at the face you making. It ain't that bad.
It slapped me, and it smelled like
I
onions
didn't have no onions today.
a lot.
I did. What did we have? Oh yeah, yeah. Was it onions on there?
Yes.
Man, that thing was so good. But anyway, you
You said
you you know what I'm saying. Just giving back, man. That's my purpose. Being uh and I had so many different LLCs, so many different businesses, and people seeing that they come and they ask and I give. It's just plain and simple. It's being very transparent. You never know who watching. When you're out, when you put yourself out there and you making moves, you never know who you're inspiring. People are always watching. And you become purposeful.
that is one thing about you that you
Everybody can't hear you talking. You got to speak up.
that's one thing about you. You are very transparent and forthcoming, and I know like when we meet somebody new as a couple and you just like blah, blah, and they're like, you're always like, oh, what do you have to say? Or like you have to pull stuff out of me,
Mhm.
whereas you're just like, here, this is all the information you need.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you. And I'm more like very reserved and very um it's not that I'm withholding. It's like you have to ask for it. I'm not just gonna give it.
Right.
Like
So, but what's your purpose though?
my purpose?
Yeah.
Um my purpose is to help others heal.
There you go. Same.
Yeah, there's just different ways. And not everybody, like some people are just out for themselves, right?
Yeah.
Some people are, and that serves a purpose too, because it helps people to um, wake up and come into their power and
Yeah.
learn about boundaries and stuff like that. Because when you come across a person that's just for themselves, like we were saying earlier, if you're a good person, you have a good heart, they'll just suck the life out of you. So they're,
I mean, at not us, because we're battle tested with all that. They ain't sucking nothing out of us.
well, I'm going back to
Before you are
before
who you
we
are
got
now.
to
Right.
this place.
Right.
And I'm just saying, like, everything serves a purpose. So
Well,
there,
all of that was necessary for us to be here right
well,
now.
right. What I'm saying is there's new generations, there's people that are at different levels of their path and they might need the information. I'm just saying that um, people who are on a self-seeking mission, who are selfish, who are of self service to themselves, they serve a purpose as well.
Right. Absolutely. And
And yeah,
and that's for a lot of people to use them as a measuring stick to be blessed that we're not like that. That's what that
you
is.
you make a decision. You always
Right.
say you make a choice. Are you going to, you know, be of service to yourself, or do you want to help others? You want to help the collective? Do you want to? And I've always known that I wanted to help. I
You
wanted to,
always was like that. You always was. You
like,
you hated the bullies. You always hated the bullies. You're ready to fight for what's right. You've been like that.
I'm
So
I'm that's another thing. Like your zodiac. See, I think that you're not into any of that stuff because you like jumped into your purpose very early in life. But some of us, we're not that fortunate. So we're trying to like navigate through life and figure things out. And I think the zodiac, like your zodiac chart, your natal chart, can help you figure out your purpose and what you're supposed to be doing or accomplishing or what hurdles you're supposed to overcome. Because that justice thing, I'm a Libra moon. So that's why I'm like that. I'm all about the justice and um, yeah, fighting for
what's right?
what's right.
Yeah. Hmm. All right. So there you have it. Anything else you want to tell for the people?
That's it. We do.
Um. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Well
it.
done.
Any gems you want to tell?
Jem, you don't have to enjoy the journey and that everything will fall in place. Like the more you're trying to fight to find your purpose and fight to figure things out and fight to get to a place or not to be at a place, the longer it's going to take. Just enjoy where you are right now and things will fall into place a lot smoother.
But while you're to add on to that, while you're enjoying where you're at right now, you there's going to be a lot of lessons that you have to learn. So you can't get to your purpose if you don't learn them lessons, if you don't heal, if you don't forgive. Got to be your ultimate self. You got to master yourself first before you can find out what your purpose is, right? Because in order to have a purpose, people gonna come to you, right, to make you realize that you have a purpose. And the only way and that'll pull it out of you too. Like you will discover that you have a purpose because people will be coming to you for this information. And you will, once you master yourself and you're not holding anything in and for yourself, you're freely willing to give, to help. That's how you find your purpose. So just do it. So you got to do a lot of shadow work. You got to do a lot of self-healing, self-reflecting, deep meditation. You got to be secluded, go into seclusion. You got to manifest all this, man. If you're a giver and you want to help people, you got to manifest it, man. You got to ask the universe to help you get there. You got to do a lot of soul searching. You got to really be intentional. And but like it'll come. Like I never even like for me, I never that word living in my purpose never came to me until people started telling me that. Like, you know what I mean? So I've been doing it for a long time and I had to backtrack like how long I've been doing this for, and it's been so long. But yeah, make a conscious effort, man. If you want to do that, it's gonna come for you. But God bless. Always have a good heart with good intentions. You can't want more for yourself and wish bad for everybody else. I mean, all that good stuff, man. God bless, man, and we'll see you guys the next time, right?
Yeah.
Get all set.
Peace.
Peace, peace. That was a short one.